let me come back to the topic again, and that is, uh, I was referring to carbohydrates, and now it's secondary to the muscle cells, because the primary source of fuel is glycogen for muscle cells. Now, lot of you don't know that even our red blood cells require, because they produce their energy anaerobically, so they require carbohydrates as well. And these red blood cells are usually, not usually, they are anucleated cells. So anucleated means they don't have their nucleus, so they cannot produce their own protein, and they also don't have their organelles. So basically, that means that they don't have their mitochondria. So this is done because they've been made very efficient transporters of oxygen, and like we know, red blood cells carry oxygen to different parts of the cell, and they have the blood basically has three functions. And I think there's again a problem. All right. So the basically the blood, what the problem with uh, not having enough carbohydrates is, your red blood cells are going to get deprived of the energy that it requires, and because they cannot produce their own protein, so your diet, nutrient, deficiencies of any sort, if your diet is not balanced, you are asking for trouble. So let me just speak about the blood, not just the red blood cells, but the whole blood. And it basically has three main functions. So it's protection, like we all know, red blood cells come along with platelets and white blood cells. So it protects the body, it helps the body regulate, and then it helps the body also distribute oxygen from the lungs to the other cells, as well as it again takes metabolic waste from the cells back to the lungs, or the kidneys. So there's a very intricate system. So when we have things like fat diets, we really disturb this intricate system of the cardiovascular system and the blood, so they both complement each other. So you have to be very careful about what we do. Now, another thing I want to address is your vitamin D levels, because it's winters and most of us usually don't get enough vitamin D levels or vitamin exposure to the sunlight. So we usually have low levels of vitamin D. Now, since I'm talking about the function of the blood, which is also protection, our leukocytes, also known as the white blood cells, they are heavily dependent on, this has been discovered recently, that they are heavily dependent on healthy vitamin D levels. And when it this was basically a observational study. These are not studies done in labs, but a lot of observational studies being done this year because of COVID. They found that healthy vitamin D levels have helped people have less of a reaction to COVID, and people have much milder symptoms when they have vitamin D. Like these were observational studies done on people who got COVID, who were asymptomatic as well as who had symptoms of COVID. So it's a good idea to stock up on your vitamin D. And vitamin D, as we all know, also helps with other functions because it's a steroid hormone, and it's not just a vitamin. The name vitamin came because it's vital to a lot of functions. That's why it's known as a vitamin. And but vitamin D is basically synthesized by our body, and it is made more bioavailable in our body. So people who are obese or overweight, who have more fat, since vitamin D is a fat soluble vitamin, so people who are obese or have a higher level of fat require more vitamin D. And people who are darker, so people who are fair, they produce more vitamin D. So you need to know this. So if you're a person who's a little, overweight or even obese, you need to know that you need more vitamin D, as well as other minerals. Like I've done my previous video where I spoke that people who consume a lot of refined foods are also devoid of lots of vitamins like the B complex and B vitamins. And now I'm telling you about vitamin D. So it's always and now try and consume foods which are very high in vitamin D. So something like it's common sense that plants that like greens get a lot of sun, as well as mushrooms, which are plant based diets, so they get a lot of vitamin D. But you definitely need to also supplement with vitamin D. So I usually consume about 60,000 units per week, but depending on my exposure, if I don't get sun, I usually do take more. So on the daily basis, a lot of people say that about 4,000 units is okay, on a daily basis. So that's about it. If you guys have any other questions on vitamin D, please do post the question so that I can address it. In the meanwhile, I'll just open my live chat and just check if any one of you have posted anything. My internet connection, I don't know why. Maybe that also needs some vitamin D. It's not been very good. So I just see 3 thumbs up. No, I just see people watching me and no questions. So let me get ahead and talk a little bit more on uh, red blood cells for this matter, since nutrition is the main thing. So red blood cells, like I said, they are anucleated. They don't have their own nucleus, so there is no DNA for it to multiply, and it doesn't have organelles like the mitochondria. So it only produces its energy anaerobically, and we all know that anaerobic means it produces all the energy from glucose as the primary source of energy. So carbohydrate is going to be important, and the health of the red blood cells really matters when it comes to a good diet. Because if your diet is devoid of the essential minerals and vitamins, which is a factor for a lot of other things, but when we don't have enough carbohydrates, we are depriving our red blood cells, which are the major carriers of oxygen to other cells and vice versa. So we need to supply them with constant energy, as well as the nervous system cells, which are dependent on oxygen as well as glucose. So you can see how they both work together. So the nervous system cells will not do well if they don't get oxygen, and the red blood cells will not do well if they don't get enough glucose. And the nervous system cells only take glucose as the source of energy. So you can see how they both are interlinked, and how they supply each other, or the red blood cell supplies energy as well as oxygen to the nervous system cells. So now, what are the kind of carbohydrates and foods we need to avoid? We'll just go and see this video where what I want to try and show you is they did an experiment with these 3 very high level athletes, and their blood plasma levels were checked. So they when they basically study blood, they put it into a centrifuge and it separates into three layers. So just see this video and then let's come back to it.
An experiment to help answer that question was being conducted by Dr. Robert Vogel, co-chair of the NFL's subcommittee on cardiovascular health.
What you eat immediately before an athletic endeavor really can have major impact on how you perform. There's a direct correlation between a meal and endothelial function. The endothelium is the lining of blood vessels. It regulates blood flow throughout the body. It knows that a particular muscle group or organ needs more blood flow, and it dilates, it opens up. When the endothelium is impaired, it cannot open up. It cannot allow blood flow to increase as much, and therefore impairs athletic performance.
The test subjects were 3 football players from the Miami Dolphins, defensive back Michael Thomas, and wide receivers Griff Whalen and Kenny Stills.
For the touchdown, Kenny Stills.
Today, we're going to be feeding them 3 burrito breakfasts with a lot of protein. 2 of them have sources of animal-based protein and fat. One is from beef, one is from chicken. Third is a plant-based burrito, which has beans in it. So the protein and the fat came from a plant-based source. Tomorrow, we're going to feed them all bean burritos. We're looking at the impact of eating a different meal on the same people.
All right, here's the beef.
Thank you.
Chicken here. I'm gonna have a plant-based one here as well.
Thank you.
Griff has been plant-based for 4 years, so he got bean burritos on both days.
On away games, we always eat fried chicken, we eat Popeyes. I love fried chicken, I love Popeyes, and I'm gonna eat Popeyes every time.
2 hours after each meal, the players had their blood drawn and put into a centrifuge. The red blood cells sink to the bottom. An amber-colored fluid called plasma rises to the top. If the plasma is see-through, it means there's not much fat in the blood, and the endothelium is likely functioning well.
Michael, today's blood and yesterday's blood. This is a plant burrito. This is a meat burrito. Look at the difference it makes in what circulates in your bloodstream.
Cloudy.
Cloudy. And that's on top is the fat circulating in your blood from the meat burrito.
Gotcha.
Griff, you're the vegan. Here's your blood from today and your blood from yesterday. Nice and clear, both of them.
So the fat from the avocado doesn't have that kind of effect?
That's right. Kenny, you're the fried chicken guy. You want to see your chicken? There it is.
Yeah, it's pretty gross to see.
Sources of animal-based protein and fat have a tremendous impact on endothelial function. That lasts for 6 or 7 hours after you eat. So if you have bacon and eggs for breakfast, a hamburger for lunch, and a steak for dinner, this is going on all day long. Your blood is always cloudy, and the ability to operate at your best is always impaired.
Damn. I guess I won't be eating my fried chicken no more.
Dr. Vogel's experiment was backed up by numerous studies measuring how a single animal-based meal can impair blood flow. I also found a large body of research showing that plants have the opposite effect, improving endothelial function and increasing blood flow. Controlled studies show that simply drinking beet juice before training allows subjects to cycle 22% longer and bench press 19% more total weight.
So guys, like I said, let me just come back to the camera. Yeah. So आप लोगों ने देखा, I'll also speak in Hindi because a lot of people comment later on that I should speak in Hindi. तो आप लोगों ने देखा कि कैसे जो there were 3 layers. So in the middle where they said the separation gel, that's known as the buffy coat of the blood, एंड उसके ऊपर जो आपने येलोइश रीजन देखा, दैट्स बेसिकली द ब्लड प्लाज्मा, एंड मोस्ट ऑफ इट इज मेड ऑफ एल्बुमिन, इट्स अ प्रोटीन. And then the red part is known as it's where actual the it's known as the hematocrit, which is about 45% of the whole blood. And यही चीज़ देखा जाता है हमारे जो भी टेस्ट वगैरह होते हैं, ब्लड टेस्ट की, किसी को अगर एनीमिया है तो ये हेमाटोक्रिट जो बोलते हैं उसमें ये डिफरेंस आता है. सो आपने देखा कि प्लाज्मा जो था उसमें वो कितना अनक्लियर हो गया था, कितना क्लाउडी हो गया था. बट आई होप यू वुड हैव पेड अटेंशन टू द वीडियो. इसमें इन्होंने ये कहा कि प्लांट बेस्ड फैट, ओके, विच इज़ बेसिकली द फैट लाइक फ्रॉम फूड्स लाइक योर ओवेकाडोज एंड ऑल, उससे वही सेम रिएक्शन नहीं होता है एज अपोज टू एनिमल फैट. जब इन लोगों ने एनिमल फैट खाया जैसे फ्राइड चिकन एंड बीफ एंड ऑल, सो देयर within just after the meal to about 6 hours, complete plasma became very cloudy. And like I've said before कि saturated fats are very harmful because of a lot of reasons, because they are the most inflammatory, and inflammation is one of the major reasons to cause the telomeres, like I've spoken before. The telomeres, which are the protective coat of our DNA, they are basically repetitive sections of the DNA. जब हमारा कोई भी सेल उसका कॉपी बनता है तो ये जब बनता है तो there is some destruction of the end of the DNA, and these repetitive parts basically ये कट जाता है, and the shorter the telomeres become, then what happens is the ability for that particular cell to multiply also reduces, and cellular senescence आ जाता है. Senescence means basically when the cell is alive and healthy but it does not multiply. But the biggest problem with when cells become senescent is they also start they go into false signaling of danger, and उसके वजह से जो blood के other parts है which are basically the white blood cells, they try and come and repair the cell, but they are not able to do. And the biggest problem with neutrophils, which are part of the white blood cells and all, so what happens is they start releasing a kind of a inflammatory protein to signal other cells to come and repair. And what happens is it can cause the surrounding cells which are healthy to also die off because of constant inflammation. So like I've said, chronic inflammation in the body is not good, and it can cause cellular damage, and the biggest problem is aging of the cell, which is known as cellular senescence. So this is what I basically wanted to address today, because I don't want to make the video too long. I'll probably just stay for another 10 minutes or so. I want to make people who have joined the video now. So I have 2 cameras. I'll just remove one camera. Yeah. So today I'm not having a good time with my software and the internet. So usually it doesn't trouble me so much, but I guess the internet connection wasn't good. And so now if you guys have any questions, please do post for later, and I will take up the topics or probably address it in the chat box. So these were the main important things I wanted to say, that a lot of people take nutrition very simply, and they just cut carbohydrates, but they don't realize that our nervous system cells, which is the brain and the central nervous system, is heavily dependent on oxygen supply and glucose supply. And if you deprive your body of carbohydrates, the red blood cells who depend on glucose for the energy, and as we know is the red blood cells that carry oxygen to every other cell. So the nervous system is also going to get deprived of oxygen if we deprive the red blood cells of its own energy source. And since they cannot produce their own protein, they cannot multiply. They do not have a nucleus. They do not have mitochondria. So the glucose is the only way they can produce their energy is anaerobically, and the fuel source for anaerobic energy is glucose. So guys, don't play around with your diets, and don't go into these fads of low carbohydrate diets. Yes, the carbohydrates to be avoided are the refined carbohydrates, and very easily see, anything that comes in a packet is refined food because there is human interference. So, and anything that comes with a label saying saturated fats, calories, and this and that. Whereas natural foods don't come with anything. They don't come in a packet. They don't come with any labeling, like how many calories, how much salt, how much this, that. They're all natural. So the carbohydrates that we want to avoid and the sugars that they say is basically the ones which are refined. So I told you how to find out what are refined foods. The simple thing to do is they are man-made, they come in a packet, and they come with a label. As simple as that. Consume a lot of iron containing food, because how red blood cells basically transport oxygen is through this special group which is known as the heme group. So hemoglobin gets its name because of this iron containing. It contains an atom of iron which attaches to oxygen and it carries oxygen. So you want to consume foods like lot of greens which are very rich in iron, and you can also Google which are iron rich foods, and make it as plant-based as possible. Because like I said, animal proteins also come with their own heme iron, which is obviously they also have their their blood and their cells, so they have the heme group. Now the biggest problem is when this heme iron goes into our gut, and these foods are exposed to the gut bacteria. The wrong kind of gut bacteria can produce again inflammatory compounds such as TMAO, like I've said. So this is what this is what we need to care. Avoid animal fats as much as you can, because from the video you can see how it affects the blood plasma level. Obviously blood goes to every cell, and then this high saturated fat levels will cause inflammation and speed up the aging process of our cells. So guys, I think I'm going to call it a night. I hope you guys like this video, and from the next year or next week I'll be doing more short videos, short live sessions, and I hope to see more interactions from you guys, and not just thumbs up. Please do interact with me. It's always encouraging. Although a lot of people are giving me a feedback that they really like the effort that I'm putting in, and it's very informational for them. So please do come and join and interact with me in these regular live sessions that I'll start doing from next week. And I hope this 2020 ends, and all the problems for everybody when coming to financial or health problems gets over, and 2021 gets the new year gets lots of luck and prosperous avenues and new beginnings for people. So I will catch you again from probably the 3rd or the 4th. I'll become more regular with the videos and make them shorter. So I will see you again for Beyond Body live session, and hope to see you with more interaction and questions. This is Prateek signing out, and thank you so much, and Happy New Year.